Sorry I've been away on Monday. I mean, I've passed out. I'm going to get some good night's sleep for work. So here I am back again. Won't happen again. Now I got to do probably Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday, today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. So let's begin looking at these cases. Or, I'm not sure. Okay, so since 1 day ago, we have 6.62 million cases, 86,585 in the state, with over 92,000 total cases with over 1,400 deaths. Tests, 2.7 tests have been positive in 7 days ever since March 8th. 22,628 positive tests with over 800,000. Hospitalizations, over 23,000 have been hospitalized, and over 4,600 people have been hospitalized in ICU in a 7-day average, which was since March 13th. Vaccinations. 20.0 million have had at least one dose. 71.6% have had at least one dose. 70.5% have been fully vaccinated, with 60.5%. And the numbers growing higher. In the U.S. alone, 557 million doses have been taken. Fully vaccinated is 217 million. And 65.8% of the population has been vaccinated. And in worldwide, 11 million cases have been total doses have been given. New doses over 97.3 million. 4.4 million people have been fully vaccinated. 57.4% have been fully vaccinated. Harris County, Dallas County, El Paso County, Collin County, there is no new There's probably no new cases. As for Flybuff ISD, well, because of the spring break, they haven't updated their cases, so I really hope spring breakers get vaccinated. So we're still at the zero. We're still at zero here, which is good. We have 2 new cases in March. Throughout this month, we're in March, so which is good. Really good here. So what really needs to happen here is that we've got to be up. We got to be up our game here. With COVID happening, we've really got to be up on our game. By that I mean making sure that we're being masked. And a lot of states are dying down on its mask mandates, especially from other states. And just a couple of days ago, Barack Obama tested positive for COVID-19.
Former President Barack Obama has tested today that he's fine after suffering from a...
This is what he said. I just tested positive with COVID. I've had a scratchy throat for a couple days. I'm feeling fine otherwise. Michelle and I are able to be vaccinated and boosted. She has tested negative. It's a reminder to get vaccinated. If you haven't already, even as cases go down. So if you want those cases to go down, you really need to be vaccinated. Take it from someone truly who loves to be out on the road and does this show. I mean, I would love to talk to you guys, but my primary mission is you gotta make sure you're vaccinated. That's my primary mission. So get out there and be vaccinated. But a lot of things need to happen. Things need to change. And we need to make these changes around here. We're starting to look at the new normal here. We're in 2 years. I've talked to you guys about this. And every Flashback Friday since these 2 years, we're looking back at all COVID cases. On all COVID-related topics. The very first time I did this, when I was getting angry at them saying like this, that, and the other. I apologize. I mean, people didn't want to go to school. But it was a great idea to go to remote learning. This was 2 days ago when he was diagnosed with COVID. So it's a great thing he got boosted and diagnosed. Got boosted and vaccinated. That was a great thing for them. But in the meantime, here's what you need to do. In that time, you need to make sure you mask up. Really mask up this time. If you're wearing a mask the wrong way, like here or here, you're obviously getting COVID. So at the bridge of the nose right here, if you're quarantined, you need to make sure don't leave your house for 5 days straight. After the 5th day, go get yourself tested for COVID. If you test positive, you gotta stay home. If you test positive again, get yourself that COVID shot. Also, if you get COVID, get the vaccine. I recommend using the Pfizer vaccine. Hand washing every day. 1 hour, 110 degrees, hot water, soap and water, hand sanitizers. Very, very important. Social distance, 6 feet. Practice those things. Also, if you're traveling, make sure you wear your mask. TSA is probably expected to end its mask mandate somewhere time in April or something like that. I can't be sure. Also, your medical condition, let your doctor let them know beforehand. Unit 2, no masks. If your child's scared about the vaccine, ask questions. Questions are good. Alright, let's take a break. Next, there's new problems at Oxford. New security for the new semester ever since November. A look into Oxford High's new security system right after this. Don't go away. Up front tonight, school security concerns. This comes one day after parents addressed the school board with safety concerns about the new security measures that are happening during the school semester. So let's take a look from WZXY something TV, whatever, from their reporting.
With security concerns at Oxford High School, some parents say their children still do not feel safe.
In the next 30 minutes, we're told the district plans to give an update on the steps they've taken this semester. Now, it's been nearly 4 months since police say a student opened fire inside the school, killing 4 of his classmates and injuring several others.
7 Action News reporter Darren Cunningham is talking to parents and the district about what's being done to secure the school.
Parents I spoke with say not much has changed on the security front here at Oxford High School since November 30th, except for clear backpacks. However, the district says a number of steps have been taken and that student safety is a priority. Checking student ID is also among the new practices at Oxford High School, according to Jill Lamond, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services. Lori Bourgeau, whose son is a junior, says her child still does not feel safe and that more can and should be done.
To have more police officers within the school. He believes that the school has 4 quadrants. There should be 4 school resource officers. They should be patrolling within the school during the day. They should be at the entry portions when people are coming in and going out.
We don't have the strong police presence that they told us that they would have. A lot of these kids are not going to lunch. They don't feel comfortable in there. So a lot of these kids wander the halls.
Before November 30th, the high school had 1 school resource officer. Lamont says a 2nd school resource officer has been hired to staff the middle school.
And between the 2 of them, they can help us with any situations that might arise. We have a very strong relationship with Oakland County Sheriff's Office, and any additional cars that are in the area typically come and give us extra patrol. And their command staff actually is frequently in our high school.
Lamont says the district has hired its own private security firm, security guards who come to the school in the morning to check IDs, along with the help of other adults. Those adults also check in bags that are not backpacks, because lockers are not being used right now to avoid loud triggering noises. Lamont says 6 to 8 therapy dogs are in use. She also says to meet parents' concerns, it takes working together.
Ultimately, we're going to have to balance the needs of all students. Like I mentioned, we have nearly 2,000 students at that school who are all across the gamut of emotional needs and where they're at. We also have a large population of students who want things, quote, back to normal. And we don't, we need to move slow to move fast together and listen to our parent community.
Parents are also calling for a third-party review of the events of November 30th. They say in order to know what further security measures should be put in place. Again, the board meeting starts at 6:30. In Oxford, Darren Cunningham, 7 Action News.
All right, thank you so much, Darren.
and there's probably new concerns. So let's hear to what the board has to say.
Domino Masters has unbelievable.
And before we move on, what I just did was posted a question. Should we have extra police in our schools? You can vote now while watching this show. And if you have terrible experiences with officers in your school, I want to hear your story. I'm willing to help you. Help you overcome that. If you're afraid of police officers, you don't feel safe in your schools because of police presence, I understand. But they're there for but the officers are there for safety. And I'll give you my take on that in just a few minutes. So let's continue looking into this.
Good morning. Well, many parents sounded off their concerns last night during that school board meeting, and many students as well. But the one voice that stood out in the room was Steve St. Juliana, the father of 14-year-old Hannah St. Juliana. 14-year-old Hannah St. Juliana was one of the 4 students who passed away in the Oxford school shooting. Her father asking the school board to consider adding photos of the victims to a memorial that's being discussed. But in a previous school board meeting, a school leader says that it may be triggering.
Is a picture of my daughter really going to be a trigger? There are so many potential triggers that exist in the school right now. We just heard the presentation about the security measures. Having armed police officers walking around the school.
Students like Madeline, a freshman, voicing her feelings about that tragic day.
I try and walk into that school that I call home, bravely walking in because that's what we're supposed to do. We're brave, we're strong. You shove that word strong down our throat as if it's supposed to fix anything. But the real question I always ask myself, is it really over?
And during the meeting, there were also discussions of ammunition dogs, weapons detection software, gunshot detectors, digital ID scanners, and alarm doors during school hours. Bag checks will still occur, and the clear backpack policy will remain in place. And locker use is still prohibited, and more officers will be brought in to help the district. But a conversation still needs to be had, and parents like Brian Cooper wondering when the community conversation is going to happen.
In the days since the incident, the message has remained consistent. We, the community, the teachers and the students have requested a conversation. We're not looking to point fingers, we're looking to heal.
And for more information on the Oxford School Forum, you can head to our website, wxyz.com. Reporting in Oakland County this morning, I'm Peter Maxwell, 7 Action News.
Yes, certainly. And such an emotional issue for everyone when you're talking about the safety of children, but clearly especially in Oxford. Peter, thank you so much.
And it's a big issue going around. We don't need to be wasting our money on freaking bullet detectors. None of that. We don't need to be wasting our freaking money on bullet detectors. We don't need police officers in our area. We have school security who will do anything. If there's an emergency, the police will be there. Things have to change. We can't change this. Nothing is going to happen. But so far, the parents are being charged with involuntary manslaughter. Ethan Crumley's in jail. Next court date's probably next week. We still don't know. But we will know soon. New damning evidence is coming in. And just weeks ago, the superintendent of Oxford School District has decided to retire. I'll give you my take on that when we return. Don't go away. Last week, 10th phone, the superintendent. By the way, if you're just joining us, we're looking into the Oxford school. We're still looking into the Oxford school shooting. We've heard many concerns from parents about what their concerns is for police officers. But continuing on, last week, 10th phone, the superintendent of Oxford School District has decided to retire. He paused retirement because of the events happening. But a new superintendent is being put in place. Ken Weaver is probably the new superintendent of this. According to the Detroit News, he said, according to Detroit News, he was also deputy superintendent of curriculum and instruction since 2014. And during a productive meeting, officials sent a statement, "Thank you, I'm overwhelmed for your trust. I want to have this sacred responsibility." School was expected to start immediately with start contact discussions with Weaver. Once the agreement is reached, he would be appointed and posted during a meeting March 14th, which is today. So we probably won't know until that time. He's willing to replace Superintendent Tim Throne, who in December announced he was delaying his retirement in the district, recover from a school shooting inside. So that retirement is delayed. But my take is, are you kidding me? You're under investigation. You deny claims that there was a school shooting involved. You shouldn't be retiring. You need to come forward and face up to the courts and say, we didn't do anything. You deny that there was nothing happened. You didn't search his bag. You didn't even do anything. You just cover it up. Sweep it under the carpet. That's why there's all these big lawsuits up your ass. All you're doing is just saying, nothing happened. We bring the shooter back. You bring the shooter back. He's sitting his ass in jail, and what you're saying is you bring him back. What is wrong with you? All you're doing is swatting mosquitoes. That's all you're doing. You're swatting mosquitoes, my friend. And for you to be telling the press and their attorneys, and for your attorney to sit there and say, don't discuss anything, you need to step forward, admit your wrongdoing, stand in front of the judge, because you're going to be retired and Ken Weaver is going to take your place. Unpause your retirement, step in front of the judge, tell them what happened, and let the families get their money. Unless you guys want to settle and say, we'll take extra precautions to make sure it doesn't happen again. I hate that sentence. When you say, this will never happen again, already you know it will happen again. It's always going to happen again. Try to understand. Throne's last scheduled day has been planned for January 21st and announced his retirement plans early this year. His 4-year contract is set to expire on December 31st, which was months ahead. Base salary is over $200,000. The school board interviewed Weaver and 4 other candidates. The board chose Weaver and passed it as 2 finalists last month. And Oxford will be open January after a month. So he's still in retirement until you got plenty of times for you to step your ass forward and say, step up to the plate, admit your wrongdoings, and just say we won't do this again. Or what you need to do, step down right away. You're an inept leader. Step down or not just step aside. You need to step down. Because as an expert in education, I'm an expert. I'm not an expert in education, but I know a lot about education. I've met one superintendent who had his program, and I'm happy with that program. I'm happy to see an officer I'm happy to see a school who had a great police program. And if Dr. Freeman was here with me, by my side, he would have said to me this was a great idea. Not costed by the taxpayers. But with all this happening, the bullet detectors, the clear backpacks, that's okay. But prohibiting lockers, clear lockers would have been okay. And having police presence, that's going to scare kids. The kids are not happy, so that's why they did the right thing, consulted the media. But what had happened was adults have ignored a meeting of a special needs kid, and they have the right to report to the media. So here's Fox 26 Houston to tell us more about it.
School. Watching this story here. Now to a story still developing tonight. A child with special needs attacked at school. Watching this story here.
Yeah, that's right. The assault is caught on camera, and the 6th grader's grandmother says that she's horrified that adults in the video seem to just let it happen. Fox 26's Dominique Keith joining us live outside Aldie ISD's Jones Middle School with the latest. Dominique.
Yeah, the grandmother now wants several employees here at Jones Middle School fired after her 11-year-old grandson, who functions on the level of a 4-year-old, was brutally assaulted here at school. The video of one special needs child in an unprovoked attack of another is hard to watch.
Those adults in that video stood there. They did not attempt to help my child.
It is a disgrace what's on that video. But it's an even further disgrace at the actions of the professionals who are hired and paid by the taxpayers of Aldine ISD.
What we saw in this video was deplorable, it was horrid, and it was unacceptable and inhumane.
Area activists are standing with the Jones Middle School student's grandmother because she says she was initially told
my baby had been involved in an incident where a student punched him and pushed him down.
When I watched that video, when we received it and got it, I was beyond horrified and shocked. This is what you call a minor incident.
Vita Cavitt's grandson is nonverbal and on the autistic spectrum. Cavitt says she was told by school officials the 3 adults in the video are special needs paraprofessionals, but she says the district would not tell her if they would be disciplined and how they plan to keep her grandson safe in the future.
And you see these weak, sorry paraprofessionals stand there and look, and then they want to step in with a little arm to try to help him to his feet. The boy fall back down. This big boy come back and kick him again. The man who's a paraprofessional that's in the video, he needs to be kicked in his behind.
Every child deserves the right to have a safe learning environment and an effective support from the school district that serves them. Aldine ISD, you dropped the ball.
They are trained in how to restrain the kid, to stop the kid from harming himself and others. You with me? It's PMAB, a proper restraint, what it's called. They didn't do it.
Aldine ISD released a statement saying it's aware of the incident that occurred in January and that an investigation was conducted immediately and appropriate administrative action has been taken regarding the employees. The statement goes on to say Aldine ISD takes these situations seriously as the safety and security of our students and staff will always be our top priority. Although the district did not specify what action was taken against the employees, the grandmother and the civil rights activists say they want the principal and the paraprofessionals fired because they say they believe the incident was not handled appropriately. Reporting live in Aldine ISD, I'm Damalie Keith, Fox 26 News.
Makes me very angry. If you saw me breathing, I mean, that's because I was very angry. I tried to cool myself down. Just yell on a Friday when a baseball game happened at 7 o'clock because I'm very angry that someone would just freaking beat up a kid and just freaking ignore it when a lot of adults there chose not to do anything. For goodness sakes, you are bystanders. You're freaking bystanders. You have to, if you see something happening, you need to react. I see, I say. That's the whole key. I see, I say. You look at this and you go, oh my gosh, what should I do? If you see a child fighting, you need to break it up immediately. You see 2 grown-ups fighting, you break it up. You don't sit there, get out your phones and fucking film it and say, I'm gonna get millions of views. I'm gonna be rich as hell. I don't care. This was a special needs kid on the autism spectrum like I am. As a person who is diagnosed with autism spectrum, I am very, very angry that this would happen to a child. A human being, which this person did not care. He didn't care. You just let it happen. And I agree. That principal and the people who did not do anything, they need to step down or be fired immediately. This is hell on earth. Makes me very angry to see crap like this happening. I'll just yell a lot on Wednesday tomorrow, and you'll see you'll get what I'm freaking saying here. We have a lot of people here. We're gonna be up. I'm up in arms in this tomorrow, so I don't even know if I should end this way because all I am right now, I am freaking angry that some crap like this would happen. Even to a person who's autistic, if you're nonverbal autistic, You need to do, if you're on the autism, that's special needs. Autism is a part of special needs. You need to you got to do something. You can't just go around, and especially for what happened. And there was a parent that was angry at that board meeting. When we return, we'll play that video of what happened from years ago. You may be surprised what this parent has to say. Don't go away. If you went to Brentwood Union School Board from 9 years ago, you would have heard about an incident to where a teacher kicked an autistic child. This was from 9 years ago. This was the same case that happened. Take a look.
To sit here and hear that, oh, this is an internal matter, I can't get my head around that. If I or anybody
It's not
in
the
here
story.
walked
This is
up
from a
threw any of
parent.
you out of a chair and started kicking you, do you know how many phones would be up to somebody's ear calling the police? And we're talking about a 5-year-old autistic child, much less my child or anybody's child. It's just, I question whether any of you are qualified to sit up at this board. I remember some of you being here in the last few meetings I've been to. So this isn't just news. This didn't just pop out to y'all here like it did to us. You've been knee deep in it. And just to look at you is just so difficult. I hear these flowery speeches and we're sorry. Well, sorry is a little late. And to not be angry, it's not my child, and I'm angry for those people and those parents. I'm angry for everybody else. I hear stories about children being duct taped. Who the hell do people think you are? I think come election time, it needs to be not just Mr. Grant that goes, but that principal needs to leave.
Yep.
The assistant superintendent needs to leave, and y'all need to be replaced. Maybe not. Maybe what we need is less education, more common sense.
Yep.
Because common sense, it seems to me, that teacher had been rubber-roomed, would have been gone. This would have been out in the public, and it would have been handled properly. Because what we're doing right now is bouncing off the wall. I've never seen so much anger out of people that I consider to be so tame and pacifistic. I've never seen anger. I'm looking at mothers that walk around pulling, and they want to rip your arms off. And it's just an abomination I see in front of me, and I can only say you're lucky it was not my child. You're fortunate it was not my child that was thrown to the ground and killed. So you need to really get it together. Because I can guarantee the conversations I've had with people, election time comes up and we know everybody's name here. And you need to make it happen, because I just don't see you being here much longer.
3 seconds.
Now, for those of you not reading up on the case, this was one of the comments from 2 years ago. The teacher he's referring to that kicked the special needs boy was transferred to a different school within the district instead of being fired. She abused over half a dozen students there, and the cost of the school district $8 million in lawsuits, according to a $950 lawsuit. This was years before this person commented, so we're working up on this case. But it's still not over yet. Probably Wednesday or Friday, my explosive rant and my glass jar is shattered when it comes to crap like this, especially coming from an autistic, especially the person who's on autism spectrum. You're lucky it was not one of my cousins, because if it was one of my cousins that lived up in Houston, I would have flown over there, drove there, and you would have seen me in court angry. My explosive rant probably tomorrow or Friday at the baseball game. I don't know. This is probably going to be a 3-parter, so we'll probably look for that tomorrow or Friday. 2-part or 3-part, I can't be sure. That's all this edition of Give Me a Break Tuesday going to Wednesday. See you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break Wednesday. For all of us here at YouTube and Give Me a Break. God. Good night, everyone.